Welcome, welcome, welcome to episode 42 of the show with no name. I'm your humble host, Nick, and today we're going to be doing a revisit of another old abandoned farmhouse out here in the middle of the desert. I like to call this episode Clown House Revisit. Let's get into it. I was excited to come back to Clown House because, as you can see, Clown House was one of the smaller houses out here, and I kind of liked the small farmhouses they had out here back in the day. They didn't have an upstairs or a downstairs, and it was just nice and simple and quick, but unique at the same time. Now, as you can see, this house stuck with the board build as opposed to the stick and plaster build. It's got incredible windows right there. Those are so amazing for a tiny little house like this to have cool windows like that. As you can see, the ceiling boards have completely fallen off, and now the ceiling itself is falling down because there's nothing left up on the roof except the skip sheets. All of the cedar shakes are gone, so water's literally coming into the house at will when it rains and snows now. Which is why you see so many of the ceiling boards now on the floor. And all the rubble underneath the ceiling boards is the ceiling that got soaking wet and fell off before the boards fell off. Now the boards have fallen off on top of them because the roof is no longer doing its job. As you can see up there, it's completely open. It was such a cool little house, though. In spite of how tiny it was, they made sure to put nice windows everywhere. Like I've always said, daylight through the windows was important to people back in these days. Yep, that roof is not in good condition. I'm afraid that Clown House is going to start deteriorating at a more rapid pace moving forward because of that. Because once all the ceiling boards fall on the floor, on top of all the rubble there, and then it all starts getting wet, it's going to start soaking into the floorboards, and then you're going to start seeing holes in the floor too before long. Water damage is pretty harsh. And this is what was the kitchen back in the day. I bet you it looked really cool when it was first built, but now you're starting to see the effects of years of water damage. Because when you look up on the roof, all the cedar shakes are gone. And it's just the skip sheeting board, so water is coming over here on this side of the house at a rapid pace. That's why you see that hole in the floor there underneath the clown. Yeah, this kitchen has definitely seen better days. The roof is so bad that now the wall right there, as you can see, is starting to fall apart. And like we talked about earlier, now the floor is starting to fall apart because of all of the water that's seeping through. Every year, more and more of those ceiling boards are going to start falling to the ground, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. That's why I'm so glad and I'm so thankful that I've been able to come out here a couple times and document this house while it's still in the condition that it's in. Yep, all that wall material is starting to fall off of the boards now because of the water damage. Really would have been cool to see what this house looked like when it was first built. Wish somebody somewhere had some pictures of it. So yeah, as you can see, that roof is no longer reliable, especially on this side of the house. It's no wonder that part of the kitchen is in such poor shape. I mean, look at the roof over there. It's completely non-existent. Such a beautiful window. This definitely was an awesome living room. Even though this house was small, it definitely has its own spunk to it because it's just so unique in its own way. Just crazy that that was somebody's walkway at one time. As you can see, the roof on this side of the house is, for all intents and purposes, non-existent as well. So I'm enjoying Clown House while I can. This would have been such a cool place to live back in the day. Just so peaceful out here. Something else you'll notice as this house continues to deteriorate, a lot of this white siding is going to continue to fall off, and who knows, maybe 10 years later it'll still be barely standing up and somebody will come up to it and all the siding will be gone and it'll look like some of the houses that I've been to before. It's really interesting visiting a large number of these houses that are all at different stages of decomposition and just learning the differences between each stage and how it happens and what to look for. It really is a interesting subject to study, to say the least. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed the revisit of Clown House. Enjoy the rest of the videos and the pictures of this awesome old farmhouse out here in the middle of the desert. Thank you.